All right, 10 ways to use this in your organization. Excellent. So this is kind of a big picture, and then I'm going to get into some really tangible how you can use it and show you how to use it. Policies and procedures. Excellent for all of that systematic analysis, reviewing things, finding the gaps, tightening up your systems and processes. Marketing and promotion, excellent for blog posts, social media posts, newsletter content, copy for websites, any marketing materials.
This is the Business Owners Smashing It Online podcast for entrepreneurs and business owners looking for cool online tools, apps and strategies to make business easy online. My name is Nick Cree and I'm your host. Each episode features a guest expert demystifying the online universe, sharing inspirational ideas and providing tested real-world strategies to help you get the most of what's available online to grow your business today. Don't be a slave to your business, get your business working for you. Subscribe now and get some great content and ideas for you and your business today. All right, well, that brings us to my favourite part of the evening. This is where I get to kick back and relax. Well, actually, I don't. I get my pen out, my notepad, because I'm going to be furiously writing out notes or typing notes. I know tonight is going to be no exception. We've got Kate VanderVoort here to talk to us about AI. Those that don't know Kate, she has been in the social media training industry for a long time. Actually, I shouldn't say long, just for a long time. She's been there for over 30 years, and she is a specialist, a trainer in social media. She works with companies, helping them to integrate these days AI into their business processes and strategies, and with their marketing and customer journeys. She's a speaker, so you'll often see her speaking at conferences. So you may have even seen her pop up if you are in some of these industry events that she's attended. So she's been a speaker at conferences. She's really sort of busy in that arena there, and she's actually qualified as well. So she's got a cert 4 in workplace training, so she does it all properly as well. And she's got a degree in social work. She's completed a company directors course with the Australian Institute of Company Directors. So she's well entrenched in the business and corporate environment, helping them to grapple with some of the important issues. And at the moment, that is AI. She's been named the Community Digital Champion by the Queensland State Government, and was just one of 5 global trainers with Facebook in the launch of their Community Manager Certification Program. So she's qualified by Facebook to do the training. So it's very, very few people that were qualified in that arena when that started up. So she is really passionate about the intersection between human and technology. And tonight, she is here to help us, the humans, with some of these apps and tools that are coming out, and help us to look at how to skyrocket your business, or more particularly your business productivity. So let's give Kate a big warm welcome and welcome her to the stage.
Thank you very much, Nick. It is great to be here tonight and great to see some familiar faces and some familiar names in the list. So can you see my screen before I launch on in? Awesome.
Absolutely.
Buckle up. It's going to be a wild ride. Now, this is not an AI 101 presentation. I have gone a little deeper than that. And for those of you who are just getting started, just kind of absorb everything that's going on and know that there's lots of ways that you can get across the parts that you don't know. But by the end of tonight's session, you will probably know more than 80 to 90% of the population at the moment about AI. So buckle up. There's a lot going to happen in a short period of time. So let's get in. As Nick said, over the last 15 years, I've been running my company, Social Mediology, where we grow and activate customer and cause communities. We've grown communities of millions of people across social media platforms. Ruler, I think your microphone it's coming through really loud at my end. I don't know if you're bumping it. Maybe if you could just go on mute. Beautiful. So over the last 15 years, I've worked in just about every industry when it comes to social media and digital marketing. And over the last couple of years, since the advent of generative AI becoming available for everybody, we've gone deep into all the platforms. So Alpaca, Meta, Llama, Perplexity, Midjourney, Gemini, Mistral, Grok. There's Grok with a K, Grok with a Q, how we're all meant to keep up with all of these platforms. That's where the wild ride is at the moment. There's Anthropic, who has Claude. There's Copilot in Microsoft. We've now got Meta.ai. And of course, there's our good friend ChatGPT, which is the platform that most of you are probably most familiar with. And that's the one that 18 months ago now kind of sprung onto the scene and introduced everyone to generative AI. Now, I am going to talk a bit about how we've got to where we are, just so that everybody is up to speed. But first, because I'm kind of blending at the moment, it's really interesting. There are some real fundamentals that are critically important when it comes to digital marketing, social media marketing, community building, that if you miss those, all the AI in the world is not going to deliver you what it is that you want in your business. So I've been saying for 15 years that social media marketing, digital marketing requires a paradigm shift. We used to broadcast our message louder and louder in the hope that people would hear it on traditional, platforms like whether it was television or radio or newspaper or doing letterbox drops or throwing our business card at whoever would accept it. And social media really turned all of that on its head and gave us an opportunity to start connecting with people and building relationships with our customers in a different way. I had the heater on because it was freezing earlier and now it's warm. So I'm just going to turn that off. So we had the paradigm shift of social media marketing. And now, if we thought that was a big change to how we communicate in business, AI is not just slow incremental change. It is now flipping marketing, flipping business productivity and processes on its head. So we're going to talk a lot about that tonight. So how did we get to where we are? Artificial intelligence has been around for a long time. In fact, I was on a panel the other week at UQ Business School, and a professor in the audience said, I've been working on AI since the 70s. Why is it suddenly so popular? And it was surprising that he was asking the question, but AI has been around for a long time. AI has driven all of the algorithms that help us or manipulate us on a day-to-day basis. AI is what drives Spotify and Netflix and Amazon and all of the experiences that we have online that are meant to serve us in a personalized way has all been driven by AI. The shift that has happened with the launch of generative AI is that AI is now not just a custom built solution by big companies. It's now in the hands of everybody. And it's evolving at such a rapid pace, which we'll talk a bit more about shortly. But about 2 years ago, I was using platforms like Night Cafe and Jasper.ai. So some of you might be familiar with some of those platforms. But it was still just an introduction into AI. And then when ChatGPT launched in November the year before last, so less than 2 years ago, that changed the entire landscape. So here are some mind-blowing facts. GPT-3 was originally trained with 45 terabytes of data. GPT-4, and we're already up to 4.5 and 4.0, was trained on 1 petabyte. Now that is 1,000 terabytes. So when you look at in that less than 2 years, we've gone from 45 terabytes to 1 petabyte. It's just mind-blowing when you look at how quickly that evolution has happened. ChatGPT 3.5 can be equated to, so that's the free version of ChatGPT, can be equated to a person with an average IQ of 35, while ChatGPT 4 is 155. Albert Einstein was 160, and we're already up to 4.5, and now there's a new model, 4.0, and 5 is on the horizon, but thankfully they know just how powerful it is, and they're making sure, hopefully, they're doing what they say they're doing, which is making sure that it's safe for public release, because the power behind it is mind-blowing. You know, I was saying to Nick before we started that I was kind of, before AI, was kind of sitting on a surfboard at the back of the set, watching all these waves go by, going, if people don't have social media under wraps by now, I was a bit over teaching the same stuff. And then AI kind of sprung onto the scene, and I was back at the front of the wave again, and I get goosebumps every time I talk about it. So it's nice to be exhilarated about work again. Not to say that there aren't some big rabbit holes and ethical issues to discuss, but back to our mind-blowing facts. So it's thought that OpenAI used around 20 to 25,000 processors to train ChatGPT-4. Meta's using 600,000 in their AI development at a cost of $18 billion US. Sam Altman's currently seeking $5 to $7 trillion in funding for chip manufacturing plants. NVIDIA's value, now NVIDIA builds all of the, well, 90% of the chips that power AI, these large language models, and it went from 1 trillion to 2 trillion in just 84 days. That was earlier this year. So if you own stock in NVIDIA, you might have missed the boat if you try and purchase now, but for those that were in early, it's just mind-blowing, the rapid advancement and the scale that we're talking about here. You know, it's trillions and trillions of dollars. So many of you will have seen this chart, but it's a really good one. Spotify took 11 years to reach 100 million users. Facebook took 4.5 years to reach 100 million users. TikTok took 9 months. ChatGPT took 2 months to reach 100 million users. Again, it's just mind-blowing, the scale that we're talking about here. Now, very quickly, and whilst I'm saying this is beyond the basics, this part a lot of people still don't understand. So there are 4 types of AI. There's narrow or weak AI, and this is where it performs a simple or specific task like voice assistance, it can play chess, language translation, current large language models. So the current models that are available are narrow AI. So we're still at level 1 of the 4 levels. General or strong AI is systems with generalized human cognitive abilities. So when presented with an unfamiliar task, a strong AI system can find a solution without human intervention. Now we're just delving into this now. So this is a recent article. Some of you may have seen it, but a video of a robot making coffee that it watched a human making coffee and it could replicate the task. So it wasn't trained to do that, which is what we're used to with all of the platforms and even the chat bots and all the things that we're used to. They're trained or programmed to do what they do. But now the AI is learning what to do and replicating it without being programmed. And that's a significant shift. And that's what we're going to start seeing with AI agents that are coming onto the scene. Then we've got artificial superintelligence, which surpasses human intelligence and ability. So this is the AGI that everybody's racing towards at the moment. And there's talk that it's already been achieved, but not yet been released. Oh, and there is a 4th one, which is like the super intelligence where, you know, we've seen the science fiction movies around that. So let's get into the nitty-gritty. So 4 ways to an AI-powered business. Most of what I get brought to me at the moment for the work that I'm doing is people feel like there's this raging river going past them of AI. And it's like, how do I dip my toe in? Where do I start without getting washed away? And it literally reminds me of 15 years ago when social media was the days of the wild, wild west, and you could put out one line and it would reach 1,000 new people. And then the algorithms started and all the legislation and things started being regulated and moderated more. We're in that period now with AI. So if you're just getting started, the first step to getting into AI and getting familiar with AI is to use it in the tools that you already pay for and utilize it in your current workflow. You want to look at every aspect of your business and look at how AI can increase your productivity or increase your impact. And where a lot of people are still grappling with or still focused on is AI going to replace me or the job that I do or the task that I perform? That's not the place to start. The place to start is how can it help you with every system and process in your business? And that's what I've systematically done in my business really early on with AI. It was just every single task. How can AI make this more efficient? How can it make me more effective? How can it increase the impact that I make in my business or outside of my business? So tools like ActiveCampaign, HubSpot, Canva, whether you use the Microsoft environment, whether you use the Google environment, all of them are implementing AI into their platforms. So that's the place to start, to really get a handle on how can you use AI where you're already using those platforms. Then you want to look at the standalone LLMs or large language models like ChatGPT and Claude and Gemini and all of the others that are available. I'll come to that in a minute. Then the next step is using specialized platforms for a defined task. So we are about to see an explosion of AI tools that are really focused on one particular task. So for example, you don't go to ChatGPT for legal advice, but they've now developed Harvey, which is a legal large language model that is trained on all of the previous legal cases that exist. And so that's a specific use case that you would go to Harvey for. What most companies are coming to me for at the moment is they want a customer-facing AI solution. That is not the place to start. You want to embed AI into all other aspects of your business before you let a chatbot or an AI agent start handling your customer processes. And the reason is, and I don't know if any of you are experiencing the same thing, but someone's obviously out there selling AI customer service solutions to trades at the moment, but I cannot get phone calls. They're doing all this proactive outbound marketing and then you contact them and it never hits a person. And so really understanding that customer journey and where a human is needed as opposed to where AI is needed should be the last piece of the puzzle. You want it embedded into all other aspects of your business in order to truly make that effective. Oh, so much to say, so little time. All right, 10 ways to use this in your organization. Excellent. So this is kind of a big picture, and then I'm going to get into some really tangible how you can use it and show you how to use it. Policies and procedures, excellent for all of that systematic analysis, reviewing things, finding the gaps, tightening up your systems and processes. Marketing and promotion, excellent for blog posts, social media posts, newsletter content, copy for websites, any marketing materials. Now, a lot of people have tried ChatGPT, given it a one-line, write me a blog post about mortgage broking, and gotten a really average, poorly written blog post and then judged AI as terrible because the quality is useless. And the problem is it's the prompt that's the issue. And I'm going to show you just how powerful effective prompting is on some really tangible examples in a moment. Content creation, use image and video tools that are available to enhance and update your content creation process. For people like Nick, who've got hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of video available, what you can do using AI to create amazing amounts of content. So if you've already got content in your business, AI can really help you to cut that up and batch it and to give you fresh content for your business. Excellent for social media strategy and engagement. I'm going to go into that in more detail. It's amazing at analytics. You can upload your campaign results. You can upload customer feedback. You can upload, the other day, I downloaded a year's worth of transactions from my business bank account and I uploaded it into ChatGPT. And I said, please analyze all of my monthly subscriptions. These are the 5 most important tasks in my business right now. Which subscriptions do I need and which should I get rid of? And within 30 seconds, it had completely analysed. It told me what my monthly, and it was frightening. My monthly subscriptions are on tools. I am in AppSumo's Anonymous. I'm not allowed I'm not allowed anywhere near AppSumo because I've bought that many things from AppSumo. But that was a really great analysis task that I just said, tell me where I'm spending my money and tell me how to do that more effectively. And as a result, I cancelled about 15 subscriptions that saved me a few $100s because they were things that I wasn't using. And ChatGPT did that whole analysis for me. Excellent on staff management and human resources. So it's really good on scheduling and policies and recruitment. I have done some amazing stuff with recruitment of building custom GPTs that analyze applicants and compare their CV to the position description, look for the gaps, create all the questions that you need to ask in order to uncover whether they're a good fit, gives them a score on whether they're a good match or not. So lots of good stuff you can do there. Excellent for email personalization. We haven't seen anything yet in terms of customized content that's about to evolve out of AI. Awesome for writing grant proposals, reports. And lastly, it's great for AI-powered sort of chat on websites. But we've seen some epic failures of, the chatbot on the car company that sold a $45,000 brand new car for $1 and issued a contract. So the customer actually won that because the chatbot went rogue and sold a car for $1. And just know that there are many, 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 many people out there trying to break these chatbots. And there are some incredible examples where they've been tricked into doing things or have spilt a whole lot of information that they weren't meant to. AI is also, from a fun perspective, excellent at poetry, writing songs, music, quizzes, surveys, colouring in sheets. I've done some amazing stuff with teachers around what AI and ChatGPT can do. But even, if you want to do a colouring in competition for your business, you can create a colouring in sheet that is really customised to your business. And if you haven't had a play around with Suno or Udio, every conference I'm speaking at the moment, I write a conference song. Sorry, ChatGPT writes a conference song and I put it into Suno or Udio and it spits out this amazing music that you would have paid thousands of dollars to have a band record that in if you needed a customized song. So that's 10 ways you can use it in your organization. There's colouring in example. I did these for with my kids for World Teacher Day last year. They told me all the things that they loved about their teacher. So my 8-year-old, her teacher tells stories about her kids who play competitive soccer and they were training and there were kangaroos on the soccer field. So we created a colouring in about that. And my 10-year-old's teacher loves maths and is a Parramatta Eels fan. So we were able to create customised colouring in sheets for them. All right, a couple of tips for using AI before we dive into the how-to. So stop and breathe. I get a bit excited about the technology. So you want to use AI to deepen your relationships with your audience, not to replace them. I am very, very passionate about helping people to understand that we want to have a human-centered approach to the implementation of AI. We want to look at all of the things that we do and how can we use AI to up level, to get to that next level in our business, rather than using it to replace things and reduce or drop down a level. So it's not about replacing humans. It's about how do we use this technology to really enhance and get better at what we're doing. You want to utilize the tools to support your work. I always say, lots of people are saying it now, tongue in cheek, be polite just in case. And the funny side of that is, you know, if AI eventually turns on humanity, I want to be known as the one that was nice to ChatGPT. If we end up in a Terminator scenario, I want to be on the good list. But more seriously, these platforms, they're called generative AI because it's a conversation. And do some tests. You'll find that if you're rude and abrupt and demanding, you get a very different result than if you are friendly, polite. Chatty and I are good friends. It's always, hi, Chatty. You know, this is what I'm looking for from you today. And you get a very different result if you actually treat it more conversationally and are polite. You want to train the AI to know who you are and who you serve. And I'm going to show you how to do that in a really powerful way shortly. Always check accuracy. These platforms are still hallucinating. ChatGPT has a hallucination rate of about 3%. Some of the others are at around 12 to 16%. What that means is that sometimes they just make stuff up. One of the first things that I did was ask ChatGPT about me and to write a bio for me. And it was an awesome bio, but half of it wasn't true. So always check for accuracy. And again, they're almost like this eager intern that just wants to help. And so sometimes it just makes stuff up or it just does things because it's trying to be helpful. But what we know as humans is that making stuff up is not helpful, particularly in business. So always check accuracy. The future of search is a really interesting rabbit hole that we are not going to go down. But the way that Google is now introducing AI, the race of the other platforms to introduce AI-powered search. Interestingly enough, OpenAI made some big announcements last week and everyone thought they were going to announce search, but they didn't. However, if you go into ChatGPT now and you ask for the current AFL ladder in Australia, it gives you the current results. So it's not just trained up until March of this year. It has the capability. So search is in there. And it's interesting when you start playing around with some of that. Be careful with proprietary information. I liken it to social media, although this is different in that these large language models are like sponges. They are desperate for data. So they're desperate for new, good quality training data. And so all the conversations that we're having with AI is training these large language models. So you don't want to be going and putting in proprietary information. There are ways to get around that, but I'm just always cautious about don't put anything in that is commercially sensitive until you're really clear about how you're using the tools and the way to do that properly. All right, so I want to use the example of a digital marketing strategy process. Now, this is not about the digital marketing strategy, so I'm not here to teach you a digital marketing strategy, although this is a process I've been teaching for 15 years. What I want to do is show you how something that would take us days or weeks to develop now happens in moments. So I want to show you how to do it properly. And the reason I'm showing you this is, again, it's not about the content, but I want you to see the process that is used to get excellent results out of AI, because then you can use that kind of process across the board. So this is what we used to do with clients and what we teach, which is you have an annual strategy, you have a quarterly review and strategy with 3 to 4 goals per quarter. You then have your monthly content calendar that supports that quarterly plan. And then you have your weekly to-do lists or staff meetings that support that. So that would be the process that we would go into a lot of detail with. Now, I will pause for one moment and just talk about the difference between the tools. There are many tools that you can choose at the moment. Most of them are $20 to $30 US a month for the good quality version. ChatGPT is free at 3.5, but 4.5 is paid at $20 US a month. There is absolutely no reason I would give up my coffee every day. I would give up my Netflix subscription. I would give up just about anything to pay for the paid version of ChatGPT. So I'd love to see in the chat how many people are using the paid version. I'll bring the chat so I can see it, as opposed to the free version. And feel free to dump in there too if you're using any of the other tools. Excellent, Roz. Awesome. So, yep, excellent. So those of you who are using, awesome. So most of you are using the paid version. If you're using the free version, it's a no-brainer to subscribe. You could, even if you do it for a month, you'll see the difference, and then you can always unsubscribe. But you'll see by the end exactly why. So what I'm talking about is the paid version. You will get good results from the free version, but it won't be as good as the paid version. So this is the ChatGPT interface. I desperately hope that they bring out search soon, so you can actually search through your gazillions of chats, because that's time consuming. Although there is an excellent extension I've just added to my Google Chrome, which gives me the ability to store them in folders, which is excellent. I can look for that if people are interested. So let's say you want to develop a strategy, any strategy, but a digital marketing one will go with that. So what I've done here is I've said, hi, Chatty, can you please help me develop a digital marketing strategy for my not-for-profit? This is a not-for-profit example. I want an annual plan to help us meet our organizational objectives. Please write the ideal prompt to give you all the information you need to get started. So this is why, if you're new to AI, get AI to teach you how to use it. It's the fastest way. It will get you light years ahead of what most people are doing on these platforms. So what I've done is I've said, can you give me the prompt? And you'll hear the term prompt engineering, and I think we should drop the engineering part, because it's a techie term that makes it sound more complicated than it is. Really, it's just how do you converse with AI to get the results? But you'll see the distinction there is I've asked it what it needs from me to deliver what I need. Hopefully you get that distinction. Hi, to assist you effectively with your digital marketing strategy, I'll need some specific details. Again, the content here is not important, but it's given me 9 things there. Interestingly, pretty much exactly what we would have covered in a discovery session with a client around developing a digital marketing strategy. And so then I say, please ask me the questions one by one. So I turn it into a conversation. I don't sit there and go, oh my goodness, I've got to do all of this. I'm like, sure, ask me the questions one by one. And if you give it 5 words as an answer, that will give you a good result. If you give it a bit more context, it will give you an excellent result. Now, if it asks you one question, you could answer it and then you could say, is that enough information to move on? And Chatty will say, no, you know what, I'd like some more information. Or it'll say, yep, let's move on. So it's coaching you through that process. Now, that's where most people would stop. They'd go, okay, now I've got my digital marketing strategy, and it'll give you a pretty good digital marketing strategy. But you'll see what I've done here. Please create a detailed digital marketing strategy, including KPIs and detailed strategies for implementation. So I'm going deeper. I don't just want the high-level strategy. I'm asking for KPIs and detailed strategies. Now, again, content's not important, but look at the output that it's given me. It's given me content marketing. It's given me the strategy, the implementation, and the KPIs. Then it goes into social media marketing. Then it goes into email marketing. Then it goes into SEO and paid search. Then it goes into event marketing. So based on the information I gave it on the organization, it has given me a pretty good strategy that covers pretty much what we would suggest to a client. So then you could stop there, or you could ask it a whole lot of follow-up questions. So you say, please take me through each step and let me ask questions to get more detail. Or please take me through each step. I want a detailed plan on each of those sections What more do you need to know to give me a day-by-day strategy or a monthly strategy or an annual strategy? You could say, please brainstorm 5 ideas for each KPI in the strategy. Please take idea X and create a table of creative social media ideas to promote that idea. I'm interested in how to personalize donor emails. Please teach me how to do that step by step. So you can see that I'm having a conversation and I'm asking it to coach me. And when you start to converse with the AI in this way, the quality of your output will completely change. Or show me how to measure and report on each of the KPIs. So then I've said, please take all the KPIs and put them into a table. Have the first column specify the strategy, the second column the KPIs, and the third column left blank for me to insert a time frame. And like that, it has taken the KPIs from those 5 sections, put it into a table, and you'll see I didn't ask anything technical there. It was a conversation. I just said, have the first column do this, the second column do that, the third column do that. And it's given me a table. Now, if that doesn't impress you, what's coming next will. Promise. I'm not sure whether the blank stares are, oh my goodness, or oh my goodness. So then I've said, please export the whole strategy with KPIs table into a PDF. And it goes, sure, here's the PDF of your digital marketing strategy. Now, this is where the paid version of ChatGPT blows everything else out of the water. I'm going to talk to you for a minute about custom GPTs. So any task that you do repeatedly, you can create a custom GPT. It's like a friendly little agent or assistant that helps you. I have got a massive team of custom GPTs and I desperately need an HR director to manage them all. But I'm going to show you what that means. So what I've said here around this strategy is I now want to create a custom GPT that is a marketing assistant to help me implement this marketing strategy. Can you please provide a full set of instructions? So if you don't know how to build a custom GPT, ChatGPT is about to tell you. Please provide a full set of instructions for me to copy into the custom GPT. So Chatty goes, sure, Kate, here you go. Here's how you create a custom GPT. Again, don't worry too much about the detail because I'm going to show you what this means. This is what a custom GPT looks like. So this is a client of ours, Quest for Life Foundation. They're a not-for-profit. We create a digital marketing assistant for all of our clients. Now, this is something that we use on their behalf. Some of them, we hand it over to them, but most people don't actually want to do this part yet. So what I'm giving you is what a lot of people are keeping behind closed doors in terms of agencies, but you can do this in your own business on the $20 a month plan. So a custom GPT, this is what it looks like at the front end. You can customize the name, you can customize the image. For those of you who are selling anything in this space, it can link to your website. Amazing lead gen opportunities. Now, a question I do often get asked is who can access these? At the moment, custom GPTs can only be accessed by people who have a paid subscription to ChatGPT. That is about to change. They did announce that last week, but they're not 100% clear on whether it looks like the public GPTs will be readily available, but the ones where only people with a link can use them, so the semi-private ones, will not be available to people on a free plan. Commercially, that's an issue. Like if I wanted to create a custom GPT that I could sell behind a paywall, people would have to have a paid account in order to access that at the moment. These buttons here, which are conversation starters or task starters, you can customize those. And then you just converse with this custom GPT like you would on normal ChatGPT. So a couple of tips. This process of creating it, super simple. Do not let anybody bamboozle you or think that there's some witchcraft magic that sits behind this. Super simple. If you go to the Create tab inside the Custom GPT Builder, it will ask you questions that gives you everything you need to know. Just know that when you go to the Configure tab, you've got a lot more possibility here to customize it. And if you go back to the Create tab and answer questions, it will remove whatever you entered. So my suggestion is you do that process that I just showed you, which is asking ChatGPT for the data needed to create the custom GPT, and then you put it in here. So you cut and paste the name, you put the description. These are the custom instructions. So for a digital marketing assistant, so you put the instructions. This custom GPT is designed to assist with the implementation of digital marketing strategies for a not-for-profit organization. This is where you train it. This is the website. Please go learn everything about this organization. This is our mission. This is our vision. Now, I'm about to show you, you can upload documents. So I don't have time to go into this in detail, but I have just been through the most mind-blowing experience of creating a team of GPTs that are highly trained on the vision, the values, my ideal target audience, the customer journey that my customers go through, the marketing plan that I've developed. So I go into a deep process of creating these documents, and then you just upload the documents into the custom GPT, and it's drawing on all of that. So you can have 10 documents, they can be hundreds of pages long. We've created these for RTOs where we put all their training manuals, and their students can just have a conversation about finding the data in a training manual instead of having to read through binders of information. I've created one called Jobby the Job Hunting Elf for my best friend who was made redundant. And we've uploaded her LinkedIn profile, her CV. She drops in the Seek link when she's looking at a job. It will tell her what kind of a match she is for that job. It will tell her the gaps in her skills. It'll tell her the 10 most likely interview questions. It will answer them for her using her background and experience. You can create this as a policy. You know, if you've got to do policy, lots of written policy, you have a little policy chat GPT or custom GPT that just focuses on that task. If you've got a particular look, feel, style guide, like I've uploaded style guides and images as inspiration into custom GPT so that it just consistently uses all of the right language and style that we're using. Are you starting to see, tell me in the chat, are you starting to see just how mind-blowing this is? I need some yeses. No yeses. Everyone's off creating custom GPTs. Good-o. All right. So Victoria, you don't understand why you call it a custom GPT. So the reason it's a custom GPT is this one, the Quest Marketing Assistant, is trained just on the Quest for Life Foundation. It's read the thousands of blogs on their website. It understands the programs they run. It's gone and analysed all of the mentions about Quest for Life across the internet. It's got their course manuals, so it talks. We've uploaded the founders' books into there, so it actually creates social media content based on her language. And the normal version of ChatGPT would not have that kind of detailed context that's ring-fenced. So no, it's not a file. These are called custom GPTs. So I've got, you know, Jobby the Job Hunting Elf. That's a custom GPT. I've got a magical elf creator that writes poems for Elf on the Shelf. My kids are outside. Elf on the Shelf at Christmas time. I've got custom GPTs for all of our clients that speaks and produces content in ways that we as humans could never get on brand and on message and using the right language anywhere near to the level that the custom GPTs can do. So Chris is saying, I'm going to come to questions at the end, but yes, I always thought you had to edit and fact check the output of ChatGPT. Then someone pointed out you create a team of AIs, so you get one to write, another to fact check. Absolutely, Chris. That's a perfect example of how you could use a team of custom GPTs. I saw a demo the other day of two AIs talking to each other, and you give them an idea to brainstorm, and they just keep improving the idea. I've run mind blank, customer focus groups where you say, these are my 4 personas. You get really detailed persona avatars built based on your own business. And then you say, imagine that you are facilitating a focus group. This is our UVP. Get the focus group to discuss the UVP and provide feedback on where the gaps are. And ChatGPT will take Mary, Bill, Bob, and Sam, your avatars, and create what would have been a conversation amongst humans, analyzing, like I'm trying to keep it simple so that people get it, but it is mind-blowing. And every day I find a new way of using this that I would never have thought of. I am going to come back to the questions, but I'm going to keep going. So you can give it the ability to browse the web. You can give it the ability to create images. What I've shown you is the basic version of custom GPTs. You can also integrate it with Zapier, and any action that you can do in Zapier, you can automate with a custom GPT. So you could, by voice, say, tell me how many people I've got booked in my webinar and book me a restaurant tonight for 6 people and send a text message. That's what's coming, where we'll just be able to tell these assistants what we need it to do, and it will string together platforms, tasks, and we're so close to that being already automated, but you can do all of that through Zapier. So someone does an action, it puts it in your calendar. But the AI has got an intelligence that sits around that. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that's in the action section here. That's custom GPTs. So I've got ones that generate particular image styles. So again, your job, and you want to just tell it, your job is to do X. And if you want to go have a conversation with ChatGPT to get, to brainstorm, what instructions do I need? This is the output I want. What instructions do I need to have in there in order to get that output? So you can do custom GPTs for just about everything. Now, I want to take you through a quick blog example, because again, what most people are doing is putting a one-liner in saying, write me a blog about X, and they're getting pretty average results. So the quality of what you get out is all about the quality that goes in. So hi, Chatty, I want to write a blog for my website. I'm a divorce lawyer. I liked that Rewind app. I wish I had had it with my ex-husband. Anyway, I digress. Divorce lawyer just reminded me of it. I'm a divorce lawyer, and my audience are generally men and women aged between 30 to 60 who live in Brisbane. They need help in the first few days after separation to understand financial settlement, custody matters. So I've given it context. I want the article to focus on the first few weeks where they don't have any idea what to do. I'll step you through each stage. Do you understand? Ask it if it understands, because then what it'll do is it'll say, yes, I understand your request. You're looking to create, and it'll tell you, and then you can go, no, you didn't quite get what I was saying, and you can re-prompt. So I always say, this is what I want you to do. Here's the context. This is your job. Here's the context. Do you understand? And it will respond and tell you whether it understands or not. So please provide me with captivating headlines to choose from that are keyword optimized. And bang, 15 seconds, 10 headlines. Now, all of those could work, and they could all be different articles. Interestingly, if you then say, which do you think would be most effective and why, it's really good at reasoning. So if you're asking for information, get it to tell you why it thinks that's a good idea. Get it to provide you with an opposing viewpoint. So say, okay, imagine that you were to convince me of the opposite. What would you say? So it's excellent at brainstorming and thinking analytically. So here it says, for your target audience, this is the headline that it suggests. And here's why. And it's given me 4 reasons why it believes that headline's the best headline. Then I say, great, let's use that one. With that in mind, please write an article outline with a brief introduction paragraph and the subheadings that you would use. So again, I'm not asking it just to give me a blog post. I'm stepping it through and I'm analysing each section, and that's where you start to get different quality. ChatGPT 4.0, which is the new model that was launched last week, much better writing style, much less formulaic. Like I can pick ChatGPT copy pretty easily based on the formula that it uses. But the latest version, much, I'm not sure if other people are finding it, but much better quality in terms of writing. Absolutely. Let's begin the article with a introduction. So it's written me an introduction that's pretty good. Then it's given me the subheadings. Now I read those subheadings and I go, each one of those could actually be its own blog post. Each one of those is a pretty juicy topic. So you could write one topic, but then what I would say is, great, starting with number 1, please write me 2 paragraphs on that. Number 2, please write me 2 paragraphs. So you can see that you're actually piecing together a blog post as opposed to just write me a blog post for post separation couples. And then you can say, please create an image for the blog. And you can prompt that and get an image. So all of that's possible just in the paid version. You'll get a less quality in the free version, but still doable. But you can see that what I'm doing there is I'm breaking it down, going deeper, and you don't just want to cut and paste. You want to read it. You want to make sure it looks good. You want to change some of it so that it's your look and feel. But if you were writing regular blog posts for separation and divorce, I would create a custom GPT for that is trained on my website, my philosophy, my language, my style, so that I can get regular content like that. Couple of little quirks, and then I'm going to finish up. I'm sorry, I know I've jammed a lot in here. Sometimes it just refuses a task. So it'll go, I'm sorry, I don't have access to the internet. And you go, chatty, yes, you do. You did it for me yesterday. And it'll go, oh, I'm sorry. Yes, you're right. I do. So always challenge it. If it tells you that it can't do something, just go, really, chatty? Yes, you can. We know you can. Or it'll say, I'm only up to date from March this year. It's like, no, you're not. You told me the AFL ladder yesterday. And it'll go, oops, my bad. And it'll do what you want it to do. So push back. Sometimes it'll tell you that something isn't within policy. I do image challenges with my kids in Chatty all the time. And because my daughter's 10, she'll say, give me an image of a 10-year-old girl doing gymnastics. And sometimes it'll say, that's not within my policy, because context, an 80-year-old man asking for a photo of a 10-year-old girl doing gymnastics is different than a 10-year-old girl asking for a photo. So sometimes giving it context, or you just say, please tell me how to reach that outcome within your policy guidelines, and it'll find a way and it will do it for you. It's not great with text or numbers in images. A lot of people get really frustrated. Give it a break. It hasn't been around for that long. It doesn't do fingers very well. And you're much better off if you want text using a platform like, say, Ideogram, or taking the image, putting it into Canva, using the grab text tool, and then editing the text in Canva. I actually put all of my AI imagery into Canva and re-download it anyway, because all of the social platforms pick up AI content. The reach goes through the floor. So I put everything into Canva and make some amendments anyway, and save the files in a way that work better in social media. It can get confused or forget things. Just start a new chat, or just tell it to restart, because sometimes it does get a bit lost and you just need to set it back on its track. And this Chatty gaslights me, and given that I've had plenty of that in my life, I don't appreciate it from the AI tools that I'm using. I'll show you what I mean. This was just a task. I was trying to see whether I could get it to just create me a plain white square. Clearly, I have too much time on my hands. So Chatty gives me this square with 50 objects on it. And I say, that's not a plain white square. Remove everything on that square and leave it blank. And it says, the image provided is already a plain white image with nothing on it. It's a completely blank white square as per your request. I'm like, no, it isn't. Sometimes I have interesting conversations with AI, but it does have some quirks that are, ironing out over time. Just showing you this as something we're working on in our business, which I'm super excited about. This is a lead gen funnel. Maybe I've got the slides. Oh, I'm missing one of the slides. This is a lead gen funnel where people literally answer 2 questions. So who do you serve and what's the problem that you help them with? And almost instantaneously, it texts and emails them a report that's got like the 3 top marketing things, and the level of detail, because the AI generates it, is insane. And then there's an upsell that says, well, if you want the full 46-page report that's got video scripts and irresistible offers and style guides. So I'm actually building this in my business at the moment as an AI audit. But these are the kind of things that you can do that is just next level in terms of AI powered lead gen and marketing strategies. Very exciting. I am very happy to answer any questions, but for anyone that wants to join our Facebook community, we talk all things AI and social media in there. And I'm also launching a 5-day AI success challenge in July, where I will take you into this in a lot more detail. And if you scan that QR code, you can get on the registration list for that. So, Nick, there was a lot in there, and I think there are some questions. Do you want me to look at the questions, or how do you want to go from
Absolutely. Yep, there was a heap in there. I've just got a page full of notes here, doing it old school at the moment. Yes, the questions in there. So do you want me to go through it, or do you want to go through that? Actually, a lot of them are comments, I think. So there's one there from Rochelle. So it'll create content using your voice as the question.
So I could read that question in 2 ways, Rochelle, but one, it will generate content using your tone and your writing style. Absolutely, if you train it with that. So you can upload, or you can ask it to analyze all of the blog posts that are on your website so that it writes in the same style that you do, and it will learn that. But an exciting announcement last week from OpenAI was, and you can already do it on the app if you've got it on your phone. I have conversations with Chatty all the time on my phone, so I'll press the speaker button and you get these sexy AI voices that talk to you. And, my 10-year-old will have homework that she can't do, and I'll go, hi, Chatty. My 10-year-old has this maths problem. I don't want you to give her the answer, but could you please coach her to finding the answer in terms that work for a 10-year-old? And you give it the problem, and it won't give her the answer, but it will coach her through that. So you can have conversations. I go, hey, Chatty, I'll do this when I'm driving sometimes. Hey, Chatty, I've got this idea. I want to launch a podcast called the AI Grapple, where we deal with all of, I'm doing this, by the way, where we deal with all of the challenging topics around AI. Could you give me a list of platforms that I might consider using to host my podcast? And it will just create that as a list for me so that I can go back and look at that. So I'm always brainstorming with AI. So there's a lot coming that's voice activated, and real-time conversation that's coming, which is just quite crazy. So hopefully that answers your question, but that's what you meant. Great. Any recommendations on where to keep up to date with everything new in AI and how to best utilize the tools? My Facebook community, I certainly share a whole lot in there about all of the developments that are happening with AI. We do little challenges in there. There's some great podcasts. What are the ones I listen to? There's the AI Daily Breakdown. I've got about 5 podcasts that I listen to daily when I'm doing the school run there and back. So do some searches on podcasts. Social Media Examiner, Michael Stelzner, is just launching an AI podcast. His stuff's always excellent. I'm being interviewed on a lot of podcasts at the moment. So a lot of general business podcasts are starting to do more around AI. There are some amazing AI communities on Facebook. So definitely worth checking some of those out, because I think how we learn about this is in community, and there's still a real generosity of spirit around learning AI. That'll change over time as all the bro marketers come in and try and sell stuff, which is starting to happen, but there's still a lot that you can learn in community. What's the course you run to teach this? So Victoria, at the moment, I'm not running a course. The free challenge is probably the best place to get if you want me to teach you some of that. The Facebook group, I'm not selling any products at the moment, just because I'm so busy doing in-house training and speaking at conferences and running workshops. And they're all completely sold out as soon as they launch them at the moment. But I'm kind of waiting to see how the landscape unfolds. I think there's going to be regulation, there's going to be legalities, there'll be things that evolve over the next 6 to 12 months that are going to change the landscape. So I'm not yet going to put things in stone in terms of a product, but by all means come into my community, and I'm always happy to answer questions and have great discussions in there. Copyright issues, Roz, is a really interesting one. Nothing's been resolved. All the legal cases are unfolding at the moment. And the problem is these models double every 5 or 6 months in their capability, and the legal cases just can't keep up with it. But there is a version of the world where ChatGPT could get taken down because of the way that it's trained its models, and we will definitely start seeing some legislation. These are some of the topics that I'm going to be discussing on my podcast, because there are issues like you can't patent a product that has been predominantly created by AI. So what does that mean for companies whose staff are using AI creating products? Like, there's so many rabbit holes around copyright. So no, it hasn't been resolved yet. Use the tools while they're there, understand how to use them, and then just buckle up and be ready for the ride that's, that we're going through at the moment.
Excellent. Well, I think we've reached time. Unfortunately, there's probably a whole lot more you could talk about in this
So much.
in this session, and probably a whole lot more questions as well too. If anyone wanted to follow you or to find out a wee bit more, what's the best way to do that?
The Facebook groups probably. So I'm most active at the moment on LinkedIn and in my Facebook community. So they're the two places that, that are best to connect.
Excellent. I've just put that link to the Facebook group into chat as well too. So remember to save the chat. Now we do have a what do you got? Door prize to give away tonight as well too. So what's the door prize, Kate?
Look, I'm happy to spend an hour with somebody, whoever the lucky winner is, really looking at your business and your use cases and just helping you really quickly figure out the best way to leverage these tools as soon as possible. So happy to do an hour one-on-one with whoever you choose.
Excellent. All right. Well, actually, do you want to unshare your screen, and then we'll pull up our wheel of names, and then we can draw it.
There we go.
All right. I'm hoping JM's got internet for the wheel of names. All right. I think we may have oh, there we go. All good. Sort of internet challenges in the Philippines today. All right. So everyone's, no, there should be more names in that than just that there. All right. We might just give them a moment to paste all of those names in. Here we go. So internet's playing a wee bit of havoc over in Philippines today. Let me just grab that all again. Here we go. Perfect. Here we go. So everyone's name is now in that wheel of names, so don't leave yet. We'll spin the wheel, and the lucky winner will be the one that it lands on. If you're not here, we'll let you know, but we'll have to redraw it. All right, let's spin the wheel, and let's give it a virtual drum roll, please. See who our lucky winner is tonight to Custom GPT their business. All right, Gary Willems. Is Gary still here? If you're here, just unmute yourself and give a verbal wave.
Hello.
I'll have a look. Gary, there you go. Well done, mate. You are the recipient of an hour with Kate there to work through what you can do in your business.
I do PMF therapy, pulse electromagnetic field therapy.
Fabulous. Excellent. All right. Well, what we'll do is we will connect up you and Kate by email. We'll do an intro by email, and then you can organise that time between you, sort of when it's convenient.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Fabulous. Excellent. Well done. All right. Well, let's give Kate a large virtual round of applause. That was a fantastic session tonight, and it really is only just scratched the surface of it as well too. And if you do want to find out more, the link to the challenge is in chat. So probably now is a good time to save the chat. If you're not sure how to do that, there are 3 little dots on the top right-hand side of chat, and either on the top right-hand side or down the bottom, depending on which version of Zoom you're on. If you click those 3 little dots, the option there will be to save the chat. And when you do save it, there will be a link that will say show in Finder or show in your downloads. Just click on that and it'll open it straight away, so you don't have to go searching for it and wondering out where it is. If you missed it, it's only up there for sort of 3 or 4 seconds, then just save it again, and it'll you'll find the file there. If you enjoyed the presentation and you do want to watch it again, there was lots in it. It will be up on the Smashco YouTube channel tomorrow afternoon. If you haven't subscribed there yet, the link for that is now in chat as well. So click on the link, go and click the subscribe button, and there's a little bell beside the subscribe button. If you click on that, then you'll get a notification as soon as it's been uploaded. Feel free to share that as well. So if you think someone else might really sort of appreciate it or would be interested in it as well, feel free to share that link out or the YouTube channel out as well. All of the apps and tools will be up on the Business Owners Smashing It Online Facebook page as well. If you're not a member of that, the link for that is now in chat as well too. And if you haven't saved chat, I think I've spoken long enough to give you sort of lots of time to click on those 3 little dots to save it. We'll be back again same time next week with another brand new topic as well too. The registration for the link for that is in chat as well too. So the link for that is in chat, so you can go and register there now if you like to. All right. Well, look, once again, Kate, thank you very much for coming in tonight. I know you've been sort of super busy sort of talking about this all over the country. So I appreciate you spending your time with us tonight.
Thanks for having me, Nick. Thanks, everyone.
And for everyone else, thanks for coming along and joining the session, and look forward to seeing you next week. Have a good night. Thank you for tuning in and listening to the Business Owners Smashing It Online podcast. You can also find me on social media and online. Just search for Business Owners Smashing It Online and Nick Cree, spelled Nikree, all one word. If you like this and want to hear more, subscribe now. Until next time, don't be a slave to your business. Get your business working for you.